municipalities would come around us at the same time. That was her suggestion, as I understood it. We had a good discussion about that, but it looked to me, and it sounded to me like the thing to do is leave it where it is.
Ms. Perkins.
I can see benefits and I can see some disadvantages to doing it that way, but ultimately I think it should be something that would be brought to the people to see what it is that they would like to do. As far as a disadvantage, I can see our little election kind of getting lost in the shuffle when there's other bigger things, so to speak, going on. But I also can see the advantage of having more people come out to the polls because of those bigger things that are coming out, that are going on. But ultimately, I think it should be brought to the people and have them decide if they would like to join in with the county elections or keep it separate. And then it would be up to Mrs. Carpenter's office to accommodate us if we decide that's what we want to do.
Mr. Welker.
When Ms. Carpenter came to speak to the Charter Review Advisory Board, Mr. Helly referring to, he and I both served on that board until we decided to run for city office and we had to resign. I'm vehemently for moving the elections to November. My main concern about the whole situation is we had the first time ever the opportunity to elect a mayor in this community, and we had no opposition. If we'd have had that election in November, I assure you, we would have had an open election where we have nothing against Vice Mayor Kerper. I think he do a fine job as mayor. I really believe we would have more people vote. I believe we would have more candidates. And I believe it would be giving the citizens of Alachua a greater look at what government is all about. And I disagree with Ms. Carpenter at the meeting. Not that I say she doesn't have a tough job, but I think we need to, if we decide to do it, and it's still before the Charter Review Advisory Board, as an issue may be brought before the voters, for the voters to decide, as Ms. Perkins said. And I certainly would like to see the opportunity for us to have a chance to vote in even years. We have to work out about our 3-year elections. There's several things to be worked out. I think none of those are insurmountable if we try. So I'm really looking forward to the idea that the Charter Review Advisory Board will get that on the ballot and let the citizens decide. And we will need to work with the supervisor election, Ms. Carpenter, and we can see if it doesn't, then we hopefully we can start getting more people to turn out for our elections here in the city of Alachua if they stay in April. Ms. Carpenter wants all the other municipalities to move to the same date that we do it. She likes that we do it. So that's the good news. They want us to move ours, they want everybody else to move to ours. Thank you.
And I just wanted to say that for people who are not aware, if you went on the Supervisor of Elections website, you would see that within the county of Alachua, every city and municipality has in the spring different dates for their all the way going up through June, I believe. There's seems to be every other week in elections, so that's part of what Ms. Carpenter was talking about. Okay, question number 4, and we will begin with Ms. Perkins. What cost-cutting measures would you like to see instituted to help stay within the city's budget in these difficult economic times?
I don't really have anything specific because I have not been on the boards that some of my opponents have been on. However, I am quite capable once I am in the position of doing the research and making ourselves accountable for the budget. But one thing that I know has been brought up several times and has been a cost factor, and that has been that of lawsuits. You've heard it over and over again about the city and the lawsuits that we've been involved in. And I think that one way, you can't stop people from suing. There have been individuals who have sued. I think our current city manager even sued the city. What we need to do, we can't avoid lawsuits so much from the perspective of whether a person wants to sue us, but what we need to do is make sure that we are being accountable for ourselves that we monitor ourselves, that we're doing everything that we should do, so that lawsuits would be then discouraged. There won't be any reason for them to feel like they could win a lawsuit. So if we keep ourselves in order, keep ourselves in check as a city, then that would in fact eliminate the need, or so-called need, for lawsuits, therefore cutting the cost in that area.
Mr. Welford.
Lawsuits have come up a number of times at the city commission meeting over the last 15 months, and I will be glad for the day those go away, talking about the ones that happened so many years ago. Actually, if you pick up this off my table out there, I've got several areas I'd like to see the city implement to take a look at the cost-cutting measures. And one of the things, when elected, I will advocate for a comprehensive study to be performed of city operations by employing a standards of excellence business model to determine if each department is being run efficiently and effectively in accordance with best practices, total quality management, and continuous quality improvement managerial philosophy. We have a $46 million budget. We are a business. It is not just government service, although I appreciate that mentality, but we are a $46 million business. We'll advocate for a cost benefits analysis to be performed to compare the expense of employing a full-time city attorney in lieu of paying a consultant attorney on an hourly basis for legal work being provided for the city. And that has nothing against Ms. Crush. I think she does a fine job. I think we need to evaluate that. I'll advocate for the city to develop a 5-year strategic plan, with the city manager being required to provide a written report on a quarterly basis on plan progress to the city commission. I'll advocate for the city commission to receive, review, and approve monthly financial reports to include at a minimum a statement of financial position and a report on revenues and expenditures. I think, when you look at city government, I'm big on continuous quality improvement. That means if you look in the mirror, you're doing a good job, you can probably do a better job tomorrow. If you look in the mirror, you're doing not such a good job, then you have marked room for improvement. So I'm all for it, always looking at stuff on a daily basis, and then to make those changes necessary to make us even better. Thank you.
Mr. Heller.
Well, obviously, the attorney's fees comes up, and all we can really do about lawsuits is do the best we can so that we operate the city in a lawful manner and do the best we can to then settle some disputes without egos getting in the way and wanting to win just to win. We want to make sure both of those are true. I also think we need to look at whether or not we should have a full-time attorney instead of by the hour. It has to be looked at and decided. I don't know yet, but it has to be decided. I think it's possible that that would be a big savings. As far as what Mr. Wilford